Oh, we're live.
Oh, and we're going. Okay, work. Hello. Um, Welcome
Oh,
to this rankings. Um, Last we spoke, what happened last we spoke? It was Matthew that went home? Yeah. Matthew
yeah.
went home in the stupidest vote in the history of votes. And the game has now majorly shifted since then. I think the main issue before was the fact that this whole side, aka the side that evicted Matthew, the Johnny, Gabby, Karina, Zion, Abdul slash Cooper of it all, were so locked in with each other, but they each had like one or two connections from the other side that kept trusting them with information. And they would always drag them along and then cut them off at the last second, which is why that other side could not get any traction because they were not locked in with each other. Now there is a lot of infighting on that side, and the other side has formally locked down as a five and now know, after this Matthew vote, exactly who can be trusted. They came up with a crazy plan this week to backdoor Johnny, and although it didn't work, like they are seriously bonded together because of it. Um, we've already seen them do some stuff in the draft day um twist that we'll touch on minorly, maybe. I don't really know. And yeah, I think the dynamic has completely flipped on its head in terms of who's on the offense versus the defense in terms of like how they have their game together. Um and that's just really interesting because I did not see it happening. This season, I'm like back on board. I'm back on board
hmm
for fun season 18, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Let's start in with Abdul.
Okay. Last week, Abdul, I at first gave a five, and then I was convinced to go up to a six. I am confidently moving back down to a five this week. Um, and that's for a couple of reasons. The main one being he made the wrong move this week. He made the wrong move this week, and it clearly showed. He won the veto. Zion is his number one ally. He was going to save Zion. The other side of the house came to him being like, we should save Zion. And he was like, perfect. I'm so excited. Let me do that. I mean, I'm going to do that. And then they told him that the plan is to backdoor Johnny. And he was like, you know what? I'm down. Johnny is someone that I know is in alliances without me. It's not really with me. It's just a number. And if it's Johnny or Eli, those are two people that like if it's going to be someone that's on my side, it might as well be one of them. Everything was coming up Abdul, and I was going to raise my score probably to a seven had he just gone through with that move and then been able to hands off just let this happen. No one would have been mad at him on his side for using the veto on Zion. They know that he's close to Zion. Now, because he didn't use it, he had to backtrack what he said about initially going on with this plan to backdoor Johnny, had that whole side pissed off. He had to be talked out of using the veto on Zion by Zion and Karina. We'll touch on that. Um, Now after this chain, he's kind of got more people pissed at him. Like I think Gabby and Johnny are kind of realizing like, oh, like Abdul and Zion are kind of like more of a thing than we thought, and Zion's not really with us, and it's a whole thing. But like Abdul seems to be couching some of the heat for that. Um, I think that he's in a very middling average position right now, where the other side, it's so confusing. Like, what is the other side at this point? His side, he's insulated enough. No one's gunning for him. And in terms of the opposing side, although none of them trust him anymore, the names of Johnny and Gabby and Karina are the ones that are coming up, not his. So I'm going to be at a very middling 5, but it is certainly no longer a green score for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down to a 5 as well. Um, it's tough. It's a strange move because the person who was telling him not to use a veto on it, use the veto was the person he was going to use the veto on. So like I'm sure we'll touch on all of that when we get there, but very strange. I think now that there's kind of a core 5 coming together that is stronger than I think the remnants, or at least more larger in number than the remnants of that side. Um, he could be in a little bit of trouble eventually. So we'll see where it goes with the duel. I don't know. I think whenever you, and this might fall more on Zion, but whenever you have a chance to use a veto and you strategically don't use it, I think it paints a big target on you. And Abdul definitely had a hand in that. So we'll see how that goes for him. But I am also at a 5. Andre, HOH Andre.
Andre, if I had a nickel for every time the person that survived a vote by the skin of their teeth.
Hey, hey, this is my joke.
Wait, it's so funny because I did text it to Sean and Eric, or
Oh,
maybe it was Dan before you said it.
that's
um, for granted, I worded it differently. I didn't know about the Tuesday thing, but
it was
if
Monday.
I said if I had a nickel for every time the surviving nominee of a one vote margin then won the HOH and made bad nominations, I'd have two
On
nickels.
Monday.
On Monday, an additional fun fact. Okay, so here's the thing. I will definitely be raising my score on Andre because his position has significantly improved in my position, in my opinion. He's leaving this week with a really core alliance that I think is uh prioritizing him. Um, the downsides are this. One, I would say he's certainly on the bottom of that group, which right now totally fine. I'm really not that concerned. The bigger issue for me is, and this is mainly just to stay consistent with how I've been scoring people that have had bad HOHs. Um, and that is unfortunately, I think Andre was on the route of having a really great HOH, but got there a little too late. And ultimately, yes, Eli did vote to evict Andre, but she just flipped over to his new side. I ultimately think that this was a huge chance to get someone like Johnny out, to get someone like Zion out. And the other side, which had formerly formed up, misplayed getting Johnny up on the block so poorly. It is mainly Cooper's fault. But if I had to rank Cooper at number one at fault, I would rank Andre at number two because like Andre was like not telling Abdul who the rep nom would be and was saying not to use it, but then was like, well, I got a lot of info, but I can't tell you, Abdul, but yada yada, but you're my number one, but so on and so forth. And it all just felt very weird. Um, and I think a lot of people on that side left this week just feeling sketched out and pissed by Andre at Andre. Um, Eli going home was not the optimal move. So I can't like raise my score exponentially. So I will only be going up to a 4. However, this is like a soft launch to hopefully bigger and better things for Andre in this game. This 4 is not like a I'm upset with Andre. This is like a we're now on the trend of up and up. And I'm thinking at the next rankings, we could be seeing better things. But I do have to rank what happened this week. And for that, I say 4.
Mm. I know I was thinking about going up to a 5.
Same.
I'm trying to decide though, because I do feel although he was kind of messy in his discussions about the replacement nominee and being cagey with that, I feel like it did solidify him more with the people that he is now working with.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, ah, yes, he kind of got like kicked out of like trying to play a middle position, but is it bad because he like established with a side is like my thought process.
I think it's
Uh
far better that he was kicked out of playing the middle position because he was not playing the middle
yeah,
position.
exactly. Like the only reason that he is like in like hot water with a side is because he like established himself with a side. So actually I think I will be going up to a 5. Um I don't think Eli going was like the perfect move. I think like if Johnny were to go home, that would have been great. But Eli like is still someone who wasn't really gonna be like with him totally. So it was not it's not terrible. 4.5. Good job, Andre. Big things. Cooper.
Okay. What an interesting person to talk about in this game. Cooper and Sarah are the two people that I definitely have a lot to say about. And I might go against the grain of how I've scored in the past because up through this season, I've been like, if you've played badly, I can't like super just, I'm going to have to come up with like a big reason to like justify giving you a good score. Cooper and Sarah simultaneously, I think both played badly and messily this week. The move on Johnny didn't happen because of their faults in how they communicated this. Um, but twofold, I think their positions in this game have gotten quite good. Speaking about Cooper specifically, the fact that he's now locked in with this five of Julia, Sarah, Rod, and Andre is fantastic. The fact that he was able to talk his way off of the block on an Andre HOH is really impressive. To the fact that he was not only not an initial nominee, but then was not even a consideration to go up after this veto was used, which is wild, really impressive. He also still has a really tight connection with Zion and Karina. Um, and although Gabby is definitely not thrilled with him, I think Abdul and Johnny still have enough of a relationship with him to say that Cooper is pretty solidly playing the middle. Like they can't go after Cooper right now. Gabby's the only person that I feel like could and would. And even then, I don't know if the numbers are there to send him home, depending on who he's against. So he's in a pretty good position. I definitely intend on raising my score. I don't think I can raise it exponentially because he is being messy boots, but I will be solidly and confidently going up to a 6 for him.
Yeah, me too. I think I will be the first to admit that I am shocked that he's still here, first of all, and
Yeah.
not like a consistent target. Um, Coming out of his HOH reign, I'm very surprised. Um, Granted, I think it was a kind of a miracle that he didn't go home the week after that. So now that he's survived that, I think that I'm not as surprised. But I'm very looking forward to seeing how Cooper will do. And I think a 6 is very warranted considering his bounce back from his HOH reign.
I'm
Literal
excited.
bounce
Like
back.
he's someone I'm just excited to see where he moves in this game. He's been fighting with Zion, which I think is hilarious because he is such a combative person that like has an idea and is just going to stick with it and run with it. I, truth be told, and granted, there's a lot of game to play. I don't see a world where he wins this game, mainly because I don't know who's going to vote for him on this jury.
Well,
And we're saying that on before there's even a juror named. So we'll see.
EJ,
Okay. Prefacing, EJ is a dear friend that I love very much. And anything that I'm about to say moving forward is going to make it seem like I hate EJ, but that's not the case. I love EJ a lot, and EJ is a good friend. Now, I will be staying at my 2. Um, and it's for a number of reasons. One, it is still residual effect from what an absolute dog shit move voting out Matthew was. Literally everything that he said and like the pros and cons like are coming true, but in like a way that like I guess he didn't expect. Like he literally sat there last week, and I'm not going to run through this all again because we ran through it on last week's rankings. But he was like, "Yeah, the cons to evicting Matthew is I get rid of an ally, I burn all the bridges on that side, and it keeps Andre around, who's been playing the middle. But what is Andre really going to be able to do? And what are Rod and Sarah really going to be able to do? Like, they've been on the outs. Like, let me just vote with the people who have had power. Newsflash, EJ. One, you burnt all of those bridges, and newsflash, they all teamed up. They now hold the power. Rod, Sarah, Julia, Andre, and Cooper now hold the power in an alliance that does not include you because you burned them. Guess what, Andre? The side that you flipped to, they don't give a shit about you either because they've been a group and you just bent to their will for a vote. And do you think that they're now all going to be prioritizing you? No. On this vote, and granted, like Eli was never not going to go home, but like he actively was one of the first people to express, like, oh no, we should keep Zion, not Eli. Crazy take. I think Eli was really prioritizing EJ in the game, and Zion very much is not prioritizing EJ in the game in any way, shape, or form. So the fact that like he thinks that he's in with Zion, he just has such a bad read. This all culminates in, and we'll dive more into it whenever we talk next.
You
But
can
in this
talk about
draft
it.
day thing, slight spoilers if I don't know when this is coming out, we'll talk about whatever. But literally, this was the proof in the pudding that wow, EJ, you burned all the bridges with your current side. You were not included in the plan to be safe. And then as soon as it got to picking between the other people, newsflash, you're on the bottom of their totem pole and they don't give a shit. And you ended up on the block. Deserved to. Anyway, love you.
Um, I am going to go down to a two as well. From a three. I feel the same way. Just like poor decision making is happening. Uh, and it sucks to see it from a vet. And yeah, I really don't have much more to say because I feel like we said a lot of it last week. There's a world where he goes home this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, two.
And it's the same shit that we saw on season 11. I remember saying in the draft, EJ, we can't see the same shit that we saw on season 11. I need the EJ that used the veto on Eric back. And you know what this is? This is the EJ that just sits back and goes at the move and, oh, where's the vote going? Oh, let me vote with the majority. No, King. No.
All right,
Stupid.
Eli.
Eli. Okay. Um, I really did enjoy Eli this season. Um, as a person that like I got to know. Eli is someone that like definitely did not know what she was getting into in terms of like what the full capacity of this game was. And she did exceed my expectations. Granted, my expectations were she would be the first boot, famously. Um, we got to a point though where I think like this spot her going like makes sense and is okay. Um, her own side didn't trust her. She made a move, which I'm so happy for her. Like she left her mark on this season in flipping back to keep Matthew. So like definitely has a memorable moment from last week. Unfortunately, that side was not able to solidify quickly enough. The person that she just flipped on won HOH. Then she landed up on the block next to someone that was in the key middle position, and she didn't have the fight to want to stay. All these things adding up. I would consider it two if there was a campaign. However, ultimately, I think she was fine with going. So this isn't like a shady one, but it is just a one.
Yeah,
Like she was fine with going home, so it
I
has to be a
also have
one.
no reason to not be at a one as well.
Yeah,
So I feel like there's no reason to not do that. I feel like we kind of saw this from the beginning of the week too. And really it was like partly her decision of keeping Matthew, I think. As well as just like not integrating herself well into her side as opposed to some of the other people and making those social connections. So yeah, I also it's like not a shady one, I agree. Um Yeah. Cool. Gabby.
Gabby. I love Gabby so much. I love Gabby so much. She is someone that I would love to like keep no matter how far she makes it into the season. Like she's someone that I would love to see already like on a return in whatever capacity, like
Hmm.
having done Swan. Like I like she just like gets the game. She is good, but this is also, I think, very clearly like first run at it because she's just getting caught real bad in the middle and does not, I think, know, doesn't quite realize the full extent of it. And it's like the one side really wants her out because they see her as a snake that's been snaking them because she has been, but like work. Um, and then on the other side, her own side doesn't trust her because they see that she's really trying to play the middle and is trying to save face, but it's not really working and all these things. So then when it comes down to things of like her not stealing the vote and her like talking real close with Julia in the chat and like wanting to like it's just rubbing both sides the wrong way. And I do think that like her her time is running out, I think. Granted, I thought Cooper's time was running out, and here he is in a much better position. So never say never. There is definitely wiggle room. However, right now it's not looking great with the amount of people that I think are mad at Gabby. To be clear, for strictly game reasons. Whatever this, I'm not even entirely sure whatever bull is being spread. Matthew on his way out sat in a diary room that was like, I'm gonna do anything to stay, and I'm gonna emotionally manipulate Cooper into thinking that like I'm really hurt by this. And then Cooper's kind of taken it and run with this like personal attack on Gabby, which is like really not cool. But I also, it's not Cooper's fault because Matthew made him believe it, but it's also not Matthew's fault because he started it when he was in the game and trying to stay. It's just kind of like weird. Ultimately, it's not an important plot line. It is important because I feel like it's not making Gabby have a good time, which I really hate to see. Um, but Gabby, rest assured, you have nothing to worry about.
Also,
Um,
Gabby and Julia hanging out right now.
right?
It's like, wow, you guys are, it's so funny because like you guys are so against each other right now.
Um, no, yeah, Julia wants Gabby to go in this pre-jury
But
phase,
it's like, hey,
but it's like,
glad we can all
yeah.
be friends.
With that said, it breaks my heart to do this, but I am going to lower my score. I'm going to be at a 3 for Gabby.
Um,
And you were at a
yeah,
3 last week.
yeah. I'm thinking, and I was at a three. And I'm like, she's been in trouble for like a few weeks now. Like she's been fine. So I'm like,
Yes, she's just had good HOHs on her side.
but I'm like, hmm. I think if I was at a four, I would stay at a four. But since I was at a three, I don't think I can go up to a four. So I will stay at my three. But I just love Gabby. And she's so invested and it's so fun to watch. I'm gonna go up to a four. I'm just gonna do it. I think I'm on the cusp, and I think the personal ranking is coming into it as well. So you know what? Not to be that guy, but since you gave her the three, I'll average it out at the four. Um,
And this is our show making do what we want to.
this is our show, yeah. So yeah, I love Gabby. Gabby's made it by the last 2 weeks with being in trouble after her HOH reign in the double eviction. I have hope she can continue. So this is my like manifesting for ranking of her like continuing to do well. Well, continuing to survive. Okay, Johnny.
Okay. I knew. I should have followed my gut in the last rankings and not given him a fucking six. Because I knew in my gut that his position was not this good. Because I
Hmm.
knew in my gut that his gameplay was bad. However, I gave him a six, and I'll stand on that because whatever. It was my decision. I'm my own person. However, I would like it on the record that my gut was right and I should have followed it because, yeah, everyone does see him as fake because he's not with Johnny. I love you, but you're not good at being subtle and trying to like play the other side and convince them that you're with them. Like they see through it so clearly. Um, and after this week with the team block stars blow up over who's going to be team player, hysterical by the way. Like that drove a very clear line in the sand. That did not work out for him. Um, Sarah is over his ass. Rod is over his ass. Andre was gonna backdoor him. Like he quite honestly should have landed on the block this week. The thing is, I don't think he would have gone home in pretty much any scenario because I think he would have had the votes to stay. Um, pretty handily and locked in. I think he would have had Karina, Zion, Gabby, Abdul, Laura, which would have been enough right there. Um, Lupin Cooper with that, Lupin EJ with that. Like I think it was happening. Like he was saying. Never say never though. Vote could have flipped, but he's definitely like in theory, if I was at a five last week, I'm certainly lowering it again. And I'm only going to go down to a four because the people on his side are really loyal to him, but he is a prime target for the other side. And it really is just going to be to see like who kind of wins out here. But I think like, yeah, it's going to be a contentious battle here.
Yeah, I'm definitely at a solid four as well. Uh, yeah, not good that you are like the secret backdoor target, even if you're not going home. It's not a good thing. And eventually, like the numbers are gonna be there for you to go home if you're on the block, and if you're already being looked at to be backdoored, it's not great. I think that side is gonna start fracturing
Big time.
into into different fractures, I suppose. Um, so what and correct me if I'm like mistaken here, but it would probably be like Karina, Zion, Abdul,
It's kind of a mess because here's the thing. And here's the thing that's kind of weird to realize.
Gabby, kind
That
of.
that side was never a full side. It always was like, okay, you've got Karina, Zion, Abdul, and Gabby, and they're one thing. But then you've got Karina, Zion, Gabby as a trio, and they're their own thing. But then you've
Yeah.
got Gabby, Johnny, Zion, and they're their own thing. And then you've got Gabby, Johnny, Cooper, and they're their own
Mhm.
thing. And then you've got Cooper, Zion. Like it's a bunch of duos and trios, and each of them have their own agenda. And like it is just a and for the first few weeks of the game, they were all on the same page and it was great. But now they're not.
Mhm.
And it's quickly a fractured mess as person A tells person B something, who then tells person C, the person A said something, and then it gets like it's a fracturing mess.
Yeah.
Um, there's infighting between Johnny and Cooper, and Zion's trying to like keep the peace, and like Gabby is firmly with Johnny, but Abdul was like gonna get rid. Like it's a mess. The whole thing's a mess.
Yeah. So, and I do think the other side is really going to be sticking very strong. So this will be interesting. And talking about the other side, Julia is next.
I
Julia is really like a
yeah yeah
three.
I
Like, what do you mean she was a three?
um what do you mean she was at a three? She didn't use the veto on her final two. Justified. With that said,
In the moment, justified.
with that said,
Maybe he needed to be dropped.
no, no. I want to be so clear, Julia. If you end up winning the season, which is not out of the realm of possibilities, if you do, it is not because you did not use the veto on Matthew. Um, with that being said, she's doing everything that she needs to do to bounce back. And if there is any kind of blessing in disguise, she, of everyone, I think, needed to be absolutely blindsided by Karina and EJ and Gabby to finally wake the fuck up and realize, oh, a middle position is not meant for me. This is a side scheme. So let me lock the fuck in with my side and let's go to fucking war. And she's good at that. Just as she was good at playing the middle in season 15, she's now good at rallying troops now that she actually knows what she needs to do. And now I'm once again pleased. Do I think that she is in a dominant position? No. Do I think she's in a bad position? No. I think her name will always be like a ping word. People are always gonna love to be like, look at Julia. She's a vet. She's so good. At the same time, I think everyone loves to have their little individual relationship with her. Her and Johnny are talking all the time. Her and Gabby are talking all the time. Her and Zion are talking all the time. If any of them want HOH, I don't know. Like, I think they're all like, look, Julia, such a big threat. You should take her out. But if they're all saying that and they don't want to be the ones to do that, she's not gonna go home. Like, it's not gonna happen. So, am I at a green score? Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I'm gonna go to a 5 for Julia. Because her name is definitely floating out there. However, she did a lot of good work. This is like a really high 5. Um, this is not fully considering also what happens in the draft day just yet. We'll like fully dive. Like my scores were locked in pre-draft stuff, but like there is more good stuff coming her way. Um, she's on the up and up. I'm excited to see where she goes. Julia Moss is so back. Maybe she'll crash again next week. Who knows? I'm at a 5, and I am hoping she's back in the green because I would really love to start giving out some more green scores. And it could have been green this week, but I'm at a 5.
I think I'm gonna go to a 6. I think she deserves it. Uh, and again, this is before all of the twisty stuff, but I mean, like, she's really establishing herself as with the people that she's with, and even the people she's not with, she has great relationships with. Like, I feel like this is a very justified 6 and justified green score. Um, I mean, we can. I don't mind talking about what has transpired after, but like, she won this competition. She like started this chain off the right way. I know this is not playing into the score, but like you could tell that she was going to have this influence in the chain even if she didn't win this competition. And I think that is she's moving into a very powerful spot, which is great. So I'm at a 6.
And spoilers for the chain, but like I agree with you. I think there was a world, especially initially, where spoilers, who's watching this? Where Julia picks Cooper first and the whole thing spirals. The whole
Mm.
thing spirals poorly. But she made the right decision after talking to allies. And it made the exact right decision, in my opinion. Um, and we'll see how it turns out. But like at the end of the day, she's the commissioner. The blood is off her hands now. She can maintain these relationships, get drinks with Gabby, and just let everything else unfold. So that's kind of what you do with the Johnny move. Like it was clearly Sarah and Cooper kind of taking the brunt of the blame for this. But like Julie was the one majorly on board and pushing for this as well. But her name's not being tied to it. Like it is impressive and good. And the only reason I'm not at a 6 is because her position, in my opinion, was not yet solidified super super well. But yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Karina,
know who I'm not pleased with?
when
Karina.
when are you ever?
Karina, I think I need to give up on Karina. I need to stop letting my hopes get up. Karina, um, you sent in a DR a few days ago. Might have been like last week, where you said, "Ugh, this season is like if I chose to work with Damon and Kaylin, and it's like healing." And to that, I want to say, Karina, it is like if you chose to work with Damon and Kaylin. However, if you chose to work with Damon and Kaylin on season 17, you would not have gotten nearly as far as you did.
Yes.
Um, the issue on season 17 was not the fact that you didn't work with Damon and Kaylin. It was just the fact that like you didn't cut Kaden soon enough. Um, she consistently at every single turn is so clearly the person in the game that has the biggest opportunity to set herself up in this golden position of being in the middle and not being caught for it. And every time she says, no, what if actually I pissed off an entire 50% of the house? She did not tell anyone on the opposing side of her that she was not voting to keep Matthew. That pissed all of them off. She still had a few of them calling back to her. Then, when her number one Zion is on the block, and you hear that there's a move to get him off the block, to have Johnny, who is, mind you, not anywhere near your number ones, is not someone that I see you on the phone with often at all, that has actively made many alliances without you that you know about through Zion. When you hear that he's going to be going up, and do I think that Johnny should stick around for Karina's game? Yes. However, again, Karina should know that the votes are there because she's been in control of the vote like every single time. So in theory, she could have let Johnny go up, let Andre piss Johnny off. Then Karina saves him with this vote. And like that's when you can do, but instead she was the reason why this went through. Like Zion tried to convince Abdul and it didn't work. Then Karina went in to convince Abdul and it did work. But this is the wrong move for Karina. So I just don't get it. And now the entire other side, again, post draft, and we can get into the nitty gritty of that whole thing as well. Either, I mean, a little bit now, spoilers to anyone that doesn't know what happens. But like when it got down to their side of the team, like they're pissed that like Karina is prioritizing the people that she's prioritizing, and all of her cards are on the table now. After these last two votes, how the plan unfolded to not get Johnny up on the block, where she picked in the draft, cards are on the table. That whole side wants nothing to do with her. And Rod is over there being like, I told you all. And now they're all really on board. It will be a red score for me. I'm debating going as down as low as a 3, but I'm only going to give a 4 because again, I do think she's got a few people that are really rocking for her, and there's enough wiggle room for now. But I think that rope again, just like Johnny, is quickly running out, and her side needs an HOH to strike back if she wants to recuperate from this.
Yeah, it's gonna be four as well. Uh, I'm a little surprised because I feel like this is not the level of thinking that we got on season 17, and I'm confused. I think she and Zion were trying to play like 8D chess with this move when like the game was checkers. You know what I mean? Like there was no reason to do that. Um, here,
Oh, I think I cut out because my screen on my Google Docs also like buffered for a second. Yeah,
so
my connection is on the table.
I
That's so
said
hot.
she and Zion were trying to play like 8D chess when the game was checkers. You know what I mean? Like
Like, use the veto on yourself.
Yeah, you cut out again, but yeah, I assume you said the game was checkers.
I said the game is checkers. Use the veto on yourself, or not on yourself. Let someone use the veto on you. Like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So I still think she has room to play with, but
I agree.
I don't think it's super dire right now, but it was just like, why? These scores are crazy. Everyone is bouncing.
I just like there's no one I can feel good about.
All of these scores, literally, there's not even like one like straight-ish line except for Laura, who is like all the way down here. All
This
right.
is crazy. Like, are we just being downers? Like, would other people on other seasons be like, no, like people have actually been playing very poorly, right? Like, it's not just me.
I think just nobody, it's a mix of poor gameplay and also just like nobody has been solidly good, like in a good position. I think we have been like a little down. Like a six is not a crazy score to give, and I feel like we've not been giving that many sixes.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Um,
think I think it started so bad that I've been like scared to like get back to my normal self. Like, I think that's the issue.
all right,
Speaking
six for
of
Laura.
Laura, one. I'm finally back down here with Steven, where he's been at for the last few weeks. Because
I
here's
said
the issue.
six. What are you talking about?
The issue is she's actually just hasn't been a part of this game.
Yeah.
She got her vote taken away. Like actively, she's just not a part of it. Then spoiler alert for the draft, she didn't pick anyone. She just got left for the last thing. Um, and seeing the future that hasn't happened yet, she's not gonna win this veto. Certainly not.
No.
OTEV, no. Um, she'll either have someone use the veto on her, in which case she'll stick around another week, not by her own will,
Not
or
by her own will.
or she won't and she'll go home. Either way, she's just kind of like sitting here like a fish in a tank. And like as soon as someone decides to like break the glass and like kill the fish is when she'll leave.
Crazy metaphor. Crazy metaphor.
um, but I love her so much. And but it really is like having like an NPC in the game. Like like she's just kind of like there at like it almost feels like she's like an advantage in the game of like as like a scapegoat where it's like, oh, like we're about to make a move to get someone out. Nope, Laura goes home instead. Reset. Like that's like, kind of like what it feels like her purpose is at this point.
I said,
Um,
how has nobody guessed that Laura is like an obstruction we've just like put in the game that is not a real person? She's not a real human. We've just like put her in the
like
game to
Laura is Ainsley.
like the twist is like she's a random vote and you never know which way she's gonna vote. And it's just her vote's randomized, you know?
My lord. Yeah, it has to be a one, especially with how likely it is that we see her exit um the fish
Yeah.
tank
And
here
I
shortly.
also love her, but it is like I'm giving her a one as well. It is like she hasn't been a part of the season. You know what I mean? Like I haven't
Like
even
kind
been
of like
thinking
an
about it.
unprecedented levels for someone that's made it this far.
And that's the only reason I'm giving her a one. It's not because she has had poor gameplay. It's because she's like genuinely just like not here.
Like someone has to
So,
text her first, and then there's a 50% chance that she just won't respond anyway.
but like I love the energy she brings when she is here, but it's so funny. I don't think we've ever had someone below a two for 3 weeks in a row. Sorry, 4 weeks in a row. That is definitely unprecedented. There's no way that's happened. I don't know if we've had someone below a two for more than 3 weeks, like period. Not even like in a row. Okay.
Rod. Um, I like I want to make this super clear. Point blank, period. Rod is the person that has consistently been the smartest. I don't, that does not mean in the best position. That doesn't even necessarily mean like best reads or crazy strategic moves or best social game. In fact, I would not say any of those things about Rod. But Rod has consistently been this. Sorry, that sounded like a read. That was not a read. I just meant that like other people have like maybe like outshined him in those categories. Um, but Rod has consistently been the smartest in terms of like his read on like like guys, why are we trusting Karina? She's screwed you over multiple times. Guys, why are we trusting Johnny? He's clearly not with you. Guys, why are we trusting like you know what I mean? Where he's like, guys, like look at the objective facts. The people have not only screwed you over once, not twice, but like 3 to 4 times. They're clearly all prioritizing each other. What are we doing? Thank you, Rod. Thank you. Um, he his position is so whack because he's another person, kind of like Julia, where like everyone loves to like say like, oh, Rod on the other side, but at the same time is like, no, I do think there are people that would put him up, and I do think he is probably honestly in more danger than Julia. But I'm kind of like positionally feeling similarly. I think Rod is maybe in a slightly worse position, but I think he's had better reads, and I really feel like awarding good reads, good gameplay, smart thinking. This is the season where we
We're
reward that
being
when it's
positive right now.
so I will be raising my score. It can only be to a 5 because there are so many people that are targeting him. But I'm hoping if this group solidifies, it can finally go up. But I'm gonna give him a 5, and we'll see where we go from here.
Yeah, I'll go to a 5 right now as well. Um, I think he's someone I could see it going. He just has to like, yeah, kind of make himself a little more solid before green score territory. But I think once he does, he will be up there and hopefully up there for a little bit. I could see him going far. I could see him winning. Uh,
Honestly.
we shall see.
But I could also see him being the first juror. So like,
So true.
but honestly, I could say the same thing about Abdul, Cooper, Gabby, Johnny, Julia, Karina, Sarah, and Zion.
Great. That was super helpful.
It was
Sarah.
everyone except Laura, EJ, Andre. But even Andre, sure.
Great. So
Fuck it.
anybody except for one of the people who's going to be leaving this week could be the first juror. Sarah.
Sarah. Um, I actually
She's crazy, but I love it.
she might be one of my favorite house guests ever. Like actually. She is everything. Like she is oh, it had to happen at some point. It had to happen at some point. Hey Molly, if you're watching, I know someone will send this to you. She's oh my God, no, I don't mean like this is gonna sound like a read on Molly. That's not the goal here.
Just gonna add it
That's
to
not
her
the goal
quotes
here.
list.
But I'm gonna say it anyway. She's like Sarah and Molly, I feel like are so similar. Actually, here's the better
Sarah and Molly season 20 alliance,
here's the
please.
nicest way I can like this is the way that this is gonna like sound what I mean. Sarah is like Molly if Molly had like years of experience playing these types of games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Molly is a little too like fuck it, we ball.
Erratic, yeah.
And Sarah is thought through in what she's doing, but then she doesn't have a filter in what she says.
Yeah.
Um, I'm actually obsessed with just like she does not give a shit. She's just gonna tell you what she thinks. or if she's mad at you, she's like not going to tell you what she thinks, but she will highly imply it. Like on this call with Abdul, would I say this is good gameplay? No. In fact, would I say it was probably actively bad? Yeah. Where she was on the call and she was like, Abdul, like you're gonna use the veto and we're gonna backdoor Johnny and our plan's gonna work. And Abdul was like, yeah, like Sarah, like I'm down. And I know I said I was down for that last night, but I'm a little confused because like using our plan, and it's like I haven't been told about the plan. Andre's not telling me. I don't feel like I'm in on it. And Sarah's like, well, yeah, that's because it's not Andre's plan. To be honest with you, Andre probably wouldn't want the veto used, and that's why he's telling you that. This is really me and Cooper and Rod and Julia. Like, this is like our plan. And it was almost like, okay. And Sarah was like, but if you do it, then like you're in on it too, and like you're with us. And like Abdul, I'll be so real with you. Like, I know we like haven't talked like at all in this game, but if you use this, like I trust you. And it's like, okay, like what are we supposed to do with that? Um, so like there's that like crazy aspect, but then there's also like, now like Abdul pissed her off and she's not playing with that anymore. And like EJ after this vote also really made her mad and she's not dealing with that anymore. Her conversation with EJ this week about the vote for Eli, uh, like they were talking and EJ was like, what are you thinking for the vote? And Sarah was like, well, right now I'm thinking of evicting Eli. Like we should definitely keep Zion. I'll let you know if anything changes super last minute, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And just left it at that. And I was like, Sarah, go off. Because you know what you said. You know what you did. Um, I love her. And it definitely did not register for like on EJ because EJ is someone that is just going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt for like work. But Sarah like literally got up in his face and was like, "Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I'll let you know if I switch last minute." Like, like come on, yes. Um, I actually am just obsessed with her. Um, I I think like the element of like everyone wanting to keep Sarah around is still there? No, I don't think so. I think we're slowly but
Was that
surely.
really like a thing?
Honestly, yes. And like last week, I would have been at a 6 had Matthew not gone home. But then Matthew did go home. Um, and it's like now I think like she is kind of a likely nom, and it makes me sad. But also, this is my show, and I can do what I want.
I'm
And
giving her a six. I'm giving
I
her a
think I'm
six.
gonna give her 6 too. Like,
This was like when you almost didn't give Luke a 10 in the final three of season 16. Like, come on.
yeah, no, I'm gonna give her 6 because like again, do I think that she kind of like again, this is the one exception that I was talking about earlier with like Cooper. Like, do I think she kind of played badly this week? Yeah. Yeah. But do I entirely care? Because do I think that she's locked in some more allies and was iconic while doing it? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you're saying that Sarah Moynihan could have a chance of going home and you would never have given her a green score. Like, that doesn't feel right. You
No,
know what I
and like
mean?
quite honestly, like I don't like she will probably be at least my production's favorite. Like,
It's still, we still have 18 days.
listen, we still have plenty of time, but no one else is giving me this content like Sarah Moynihan is. No one is doing it like her. Sarah, I am obsessed with you. And you're gonna watch these rankings and you're gonna be like, you've been like, I really hope I'm making Scott and Steven proud. And
You
like I'm
have.
excited to watch these. And girl, you have been and you are. And for that I say green score.
Zion,
Zion.
the famed
Um,
seven.
here's another thing that's interesting to talk about. Yeah, I gave Zion a 7 last week, you gave him a 6. On paper, a nominee that is begging to not have the veto used on them should not garner good things. I would have loved to see him go home after that. Just like the epic karma of it all. However, I am so unbelievably impressed, actually. Maybe I'm a hypocrite because I'm not impressed by Karina, but like Zion, in my opinion, is like it's he's doing something different, and I can't put a finger on what it is, but he has the top loyalty from like everyone. Even the side that is formed against him, that five that is locked up, they all wanted Zion as the sixth person to be safe in the chain. Spoiler, um, he stayed 9-1. Zion is not a player that should stay 9-1. And on the whole, optically, I do think that like Abdul not saving Zion with the veto to then not risk Johnny. Through that, Zion told Johnny the plan. So that now like Zion has got Johnny as his number one, or like Johnny's number one is Zion. Abdul's number one is Zion. Karina's number one is Zion. Cooper's number one is Zion. Then you've got Julia, who's kind of in this like deluded world where like they're working together, which like work diva. Um, then you've got Sarah, who's also not trusting him compared to some of the other people. Um, you've got Gabby, who's been in the trio with him. You've got EJ, who thinks that like Zion is prioritizing him. Again, delusions. Um, like the only person that like really isn't in Camp Zion is Andre, Rod, and like Laura, if you can even consider her a person. Um, I was considering going up to an 8. I was. Ultimately, he was a nominee that begged not to come off the block. And I think the fact that this side formed against him is the biggest factor that is going to stop him from playing this middle position in the way that he explicitly thinks he'll be able to. But I will be solidly and confidently staying at my 7. Because I think that he is the person that is in the best position in the game. And I think that he's the one person that people have not clocked as like people think that Gabby is the one playing the middle, that Karina is the one playing the middle. It's Zion. And he has not gotten any of the flack for being the person that is playing the middle. Um, he's the one to watch right now, in my opinion.
I think I'm gonna stay at my 6. Um, totally agree with pretty much everything you said. I think that staying after not using the veto is very impressive. That kind of behavior just worries me. And also, while his side, quote unquote, is fracturing, I think it's gonna read bad poorly for him. I just like don't have the confidence enough to go up to a 7. Um, I want to see how the future kind of progresses. I think I might need like one more week, and depending what happens with this chain, or like the eviction with the chain, and kind of moving more into next week, I want to see more of. But honestly, like I can't be giving Karina a 4 and Zion a 7. You know what I mean? Um, so
I can.
you can do whatever you want. I'm just not a misogynist, so
Oh my God. I gave Sarah Moynihan a 6, okay?
okay.
That's this week's rankings. Eli is gone. We've seen the draft play out. We kind of referenced it. No use in keeping it a secret. Spoiler for anyone watching that hasn't seen the draft yet. Maybe this won't come out till after the draft. Maybe it'll be before the draft. Who knows when our next rankings will be? Honestly, for I won't lie, and we'll see. But like, I'm willing to put a bet on this. If Laura, spoiler, if Laura's the one to go home in the draft, I don't see us filming another thing. We're gonna have nothing new to say. If it's like Gabby or Johnny or I guess EJ that goes home, then yeah, major dynamic. Maybe we will have things to say. We won't know until tomorrow though, what we want to do. And even then, our rankings won't be until at the earliest, probably Saturday, maybe Sunday, due to scheduling of Hollow Weekend. So, vibes.
Bar.
We'll talk to everyone soon. Maybe there will be one more person gone. Maybe there will be two more people gone. But we're heading into the jury phase.
This is season
We're
18,
seeing
folks. You know what I mean?
who's going to
Like,
be there. Um,
this is really our show, and we will.
this really is our show. Maybe we do, Steven, maybe we do a rankings after the draft day where we can talk about the draft day a little more in detail, but also like maybe that'll be the rankings where we do the fun thing of like, okay, like we're entering the jury phase, pick five people who are your final five. Like maybe it'll be like a fun like mid-season, like
Yeah, very quick rankings, not an hour
quick
and
rankings and fun
15-minute
predictions.
ranking.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's our show. We can do what we want. Goodbye.
Well, I'm definitely not waking up at 7:30 on Saturday to do it. So
Um, oh wow, I'm not waking up at 7:30 on Saturday either. I'm
I
so
thought you
glad
had to
we're in
go to
agreement.
work.
Yeah, I do have to go to work at 8:30, but I'm not waking up earlier than that to do rankings. I was not putting that on the table.
You kind of did put it on the table, and I said
No, 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 no,
no,
no.
and then
You
I
said
would
you
say
can't do
no
the
to it.
morning, and I said no. I have to leave for work at 8:30, and
That's
so
not what you
and
said.
then I said so we'd have to get up earlier and do it, and I'm not willing to do that. And then you said, well, I'm not doing that, and I go
No,
great,
you did not say that. You waited for me to say that I wasn't gonna do it.
and you did say that, and I went great. You don't have to convince me.
Great. Um, I feel like it's gonna be Sunday,
It'll
so
probably be Sunday or Saturday night evening, but I'm
no.
doing things. It's Halloween weekend. It's not gonna be
Okay.
then.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Anyway, bye.